This is going to be a film study look / commentary about J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards' performance in the Week 15 loss to the Browns. It's going to be a set of run clips that's really a microcosm for the Ravens' 2022 season, really. You got some highlights, some consistently good things that we're doing, and then what you'll notice a couple of things from these plays, and I'm going to let the plays run in a minute. I'm probably let them run through one time while I just comment, and then maybe break them down the second time they show up. Hopefully that's cool. If it doesn't work, let me know in the comment section. It really kind of, like I said, represents the entire Ravens season. You know, someone or group of people executing at a high level, and then we're unable to take advantage of it where we have every opportunity to do so, or many opportunities to do so. You'll see J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, you know, with a series of 5 to 7 yard gains, multiple. You know, where the safeties fill quick and they have an impact on the run game, kind of like this one. But it's still a 5 to 7 yard gain. The Browns played a lot of zone, similar to the Broncos a few weeks ago, so the safeties were often keyed in and filling fast. But you'll also see a handful of huge gains, usually off the left side, at least one of which could have been a touchdown for J.K., you know, where the Ravens get everybody blocked up and Dobbins or Edwards breaks loose for 20, 25, 30, 37, something like that. Kind of like that play that shows up right there. Personally, as a fan, and I know you guys probably have the same feelings, after those guys missing all of 2021 for the ACLs and then going through their own injury or surgery or re-injury situations this year, it was amazing to watch. For those guys to combine 20 carries for 180 yards, an amazing performance. It's what we needed for a lot of reasons. And the problem is we wasted it, which is why I'm doing the commentary here first. Throwing too much inside the Browns 35, inside the Browns 38. I have a friend of mine who coaches college football. He calls it the gray zone. You know, you're not in the red zone yet, but you're in scoring zone. What do you do? Scoring zone, you know, for depending on how good your field goal kicker is. Not taking points when we're in the red zone, actually in the red zone on a 4th and 1. Turning the ball over on a separate possession inside the red zone on a really bad interception on 3rd and 10. And then in the fourth quarter, basically just abandoning J.K. and Gus in that fourth quarter. When somehow we're still in the game, even though the Browns had got the ball 3 times consecutively inside of our side of the field, and I don't think scored any points off of it. O-line did a great job. J.K., Gus, the vision was there, running through tackles in Gus's case at some points, you know, slipping tackles or using the lead blocker to his advantage in J.K.'s case. But disappointing on just so many levels. And I'm going to list 3 of them that are the biggest for me. All right, so the first one is the head coach, offensive coordinator, offensive staff, once again going away from what's working. And I would say very similar to the Giants' loss. And there's a lot of parallels. On the road, against a team who is tough. Let's say the Browns are tough. Give them credit for who they are. Give them credit for getting a win. They have some supreme talent in Myles Garrett. They believe that they signed supreme talent in Deshaun Watson. You know, that's up for debate depending on whatever your perspective is on Deshaun Watson. I felt like the game plan, I mentioned him strategically. I felt like the game plan for Deshaun Watson put him in position to succeed. For the Ravens, this had to have been the game plan. Dobbins and Edwards. Like, how many times have they been on the field together? Dating back now almost 2 full seasons, 2021 and 2022. Is this the second game, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the second game. As these plays are running, that's the point that I want to try to focus on or make is with Lamar being out, who's the best player on our offense? Well, Mark Andrews, you can say Andrews. And there's a play here where you'll see in a moment, I'm not sure if it showed up already, where Andrews is open for a touchdown, and Lamar throws the ball to him in that situation. Huntley, for whatever reason, does not. But with Lamar out, this had to have been the game plan. Dobbins and Edwards. What could have possibly been an alternate game plan? What could have possibly been our other strategy? Now, you have to adjust your strategy. during the game. If things aren't working or if something else becomes open that you didn't think was going to be open as a staff. Yes, there are times you have to adjust, but I offer to you, I think that this was plan number one. Plan A, Edwards and Dobbins. Dobbins and Edwards. Rotating, getting us long drives, getting us in position to either score touchdowns or field goals. And this play right here is just a betrayal of that strategy, if you ask me. I believe this is the 5th possession. I could be wrong. And we have run the ball down the field here. Thankfully, we have J.K. on the field at the 15. I mentioned it in the preview video Saturday morning. I think it was Ravens for Dummies on Twitter talked about J.K. It was a post maybe a week and a half ago. J.K. being an equalizer in the red zone because of his ability to score and something like 4 touchdowns in his last 9 red zone carries. That stat is probably not accurate, but you get the idea there. I would offer to you that we should be running the football in this situation, or we should be throwing the ball to the guy who's open, which in this case is Mark Andrews. Now, you may say, well, coach, there's a safety right here. This ball is going to be, we can haggle over, should the ball be thrown here? Should it be thrown here? Should it be thrown at a higher trajectory here to, take this safety out of the play? The design of the play is to take advantage of the fact that the Browns are keeping a corner and a safety backside when it's tight end nobody. Now, in this case, we have a tight end and we have Ricard. I still would say to you that even though Andrews looks open and for whatever reason we're not throwing the ball to him, Huntley definitely seems to be, Saturday should confirm it. He's a guy who's going to look to his first read and maybe the second and then take off. And this is, I went back and watched, this is the 3rd time in this game where he scrambles and doesn't take advantage of the rules that are set up to help him succeed, which is just throw the ball away. Just throw the ball away. You're outside the tackle box as long as you get it past the line of scrimmage, which you can do here. And look, Andrews has lost Johnson, the safety. I mean, totally lost him again. But unfortunately, Robinson's route or his adaptation once Huntley extends the play kind of puts Robinson in the way of throwing the ball to Andrews. I think he's going to throw this ball to Andrews on the scramble in this direction if, Robinson's route takes him somewhere else. If Robinson's route, originally was an under route or something like that, and this whole side of the field was vacated. All right, but in any case, I don't like the play call. I just don't. We have already wasted our first possession by going forward on 4th and 1. Didn't get it. Okay, fine. Some of you don't think it's as big a deal as I do. It's okay for you to be wrong. Then the ending possession of the second quarter, we don't get any points for a lot of reasons. Some of which was the Ravens' own doing. Some of which I think was just really BS administration of the game. To begin the third quarter, we need points. Like, I'm just going to ride the guys that are, really just punishing the Browns defense. And then we go away from it in the fourth quarter when, I think we're down 10, so I understand it. But, maybe that's another reason to take points in the first quarter and you won't be down 10 in that situation, but I digress. All right, we're going to get back to the first play here, and I'm going to break down some of it. I don't think I'm going to break down every play. What were we doing? We're running behind Ricard, and we're running to the left side. In my opinion, we're too predictable. Like, we're either having Ricard on one side and then having him lead and run behind him, or we're lining him up to the side we run to. I haven't seen one where he's on the field and we run away from him. Now, did he do a great job blocking? He's kicking ass. Like, no doubt about it. It's productive. I understand. I wonder, how often you get teams that are reading or paying attention to Ricard. Ricard goes over here, motions. This is the same play. There's his feet end up right there. I wonder how often teams are keying on Ricard for the play side. You've got a pretty good fit here off of the backside of Ricard's down block, and then he's going to go pick up the linebacker. 54's got a pretty good fit. The problem is Morgan Moses was a train on Saturday. I don't know about you. I just wish that we had given the ball to these guys. I mean, how many times did we break 10-plus yard runs? Top of my head's going to say 7. Maybe we give the ball to him on the 15 and we bust one. It seems like wasted opportunities to me. Great fill by the safety here. I think it's the backside safety. right here. You again, tight end nobody to this side, and this time you've only got the corner there. The other safety to that side is lined up in the middle of the field, so he's a middle of the field free safety. Probably lined up over there because Ricard is on that side. We can't block him for whatever reason. We can't get to him. Great fill, great play. End zone angle, same play. Look, I appreciate the fact that they stayed in zone a lot, that they kept everything in front, and that they wanted us to run the ball in between the 20s. Take what they're giving you. Take the points they're giving you. If they're going to allow us to reach the 25, the 28, the 30, the 32 on every possession, yeah, I know that Tucker missed a field goal. I know he had one blocked. I don't know about you. I like our chances if he lines up for those same 2 kicks again. You can let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. This is the first run play that I have in this clip. And yeah, it shows a lot of shiftiness by JK. Normally, when Ricard is in jokers, so he's to the right of the quarterback, you can see he's a little forward of the quarterback. He's a little further in this direction. We'll go back. All right, same play, all 22. You can see where Ricard's feet are, quarterback's feet are, and then JK is, pretty much even with the quarterback. But check this out. Check out where it goes. It's basically split zone with a wrap. And Dobbins is going to come back to Ricard's side. It seems to me that we ran everything behind Ricard. Was it productive? Yes. Should there be times where we're going against that key? Absolutely. I'd be interested to see what we do if Ricard's off the field. Where do we run? If we put 2 tight ends or maybe 3 tight ends on the field, where do we run the football when Ricard's off the field? You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be just using that one weapon, and he clearly was a weapon on Saturday night, no doubt. Gus off the left side, man, the left side was just killing the Browns. Another big gain where he bullies the safety who made some plays, don't get me wrong. A couple of things I'd like to talk about in this game is, it's not necessarily going to be a huge deal in this play, but away from the play, so we're running to the left side. Away from the play on the back side, it's going to happen once with Duve. He just stops. He just stops instead of keeping on blocking. It's not on this play, but there's going to be a corner. I think it's Ward who is able to recover and basically take away a touchdown by Dobbins only because Duve stops playing. And it wasn't Duve the only one who did it. I thought Deshaun Jackson did it once. I thought DeMarcus Robinson did it once. It was basically the receivers. In my opinion, this is not we're going out here to kick somebody's ass. We showed up in Cleveland to kick somebody's ass. Big gains end up being touchdowns because receivers are blocking downfield. A couple of moments where I'm disappointed. Not that particular play. I just chose to delve into that issue, and when that comes up, hopefully I'll remember it. Again, left side behind Linderbaum pulling. Linderbaum played well. Moses was a ass kicker. Gus obviously was bullying people. It's a game you should win. Very similar to the Giants game. It's a game you should win. Another thing to note, this is actually the play I was talking about. Okay, so this is actually what I'm talking about with Duve. A couple of things here. Number one, J.K. Dobbins is incredibly dangerous every time he touches the football. Number two, we are never going to run this sweep. We're not going to. There's no receiver out here to block. This corner is going to be unblocked unless, the running back goes and leads. We're not running that with J.K. Dobbins. We might run it with Gus. It's a really amateurish look right here on this sweep, in my opinion. Is the play productive? Yes. Do I like the play? I really do. I don't like the look of this fake sweep because to me, we're about 8 inches too far if we're Duve. There's no ability to have a real mesh. There's really no sweep threat, even though there's the motion. I don't think I really saw the secondary or linebackers really respect the threat of the sweep, because it's hard-coded. There's no one to go out there and block the corner. Now, having said that, I love Devin Duvernay. I think he's still got a bright future, and he's made plays for us this year. The film shows it, but he's got to keep playing football here. Now, it's not just about Ward making the tackle. It's about more than that. J.K. Dobbins, if you give him a two-way go, he's going to win. The only option he really has is, to bring this thing back and maybe bang it there or try to bring it back across the field. From this angle in a moment, it's going to look like he could do, one of these, but the defender is there to meet him. So he's taking it away from the defender. Going to pull this back. Tell me what Duve can do with Ward. Just by keeping playing football in about 1 second. Right here. You know where the play is going. Cut him off. Get there and cut him off. This is one of the things that Kirby Smart says about spread offenses, or offense in general, I should say. He says the guys on defense, they want to knock the shit out of somebody. The guys on offense want the ball, and meaning the receivers. And when they don't get the ball, sometimes they don't block. We got to have more buy-in from Duvernay, and he's not the only one. There's hundreds of plays on offense over the course of the year. This is one, in my opinion, where we're just not playing football to the level that he's going to look back on when he's 35 or 45 or even in the offseason and say, I'm proud of that. As a person who roots for Devin Duvernay, it is no fun for me to point it out. But he's got to be better than that and keep playing football and give J.K. a two-way go once he gets that one safety isolated. What I'm talking about is I think it's this safety isolated. I could be wrong. Nah, it's the other one. Yeah, so Delpit is here. JK's bringing it back off screen. You'll see Ward come in from the right. I'm saying I would have liked to have seen Duve at least try to cut him off and stop playing football. Try to cut him off before he, bought a ticket and started watching. Hopefully that makes sense. Amazing run by JK. Great job by our O-line. And that's one thing that bothers me about the first possession. I won't rant and rave like I did in the reaction video, but our O-line earned points on the first possession, guys. Our O-line earned points. They did the job to get us down there. Reward them. Reward them for it. You get into the regular pattern of football, which is kick off, get the ball, score, kick off, play defense. That is a normalized pattern. It's the way the game is supposed to be played if you're succeeding, if you're playing well. When you are stopped on your first possession, you've now destroyed that pattern. I would advocate that, rewarding your offensive line and your running backs with points is the better way to do things. All right, let's get back to the beginning of this play. It's trips left, pistol. So you got three receivers here. Watch this Will linebacker. They're in a 4-3 structure, they being the Browns. This Will linebacker is looking right in the backfield. As soon as Huntley opens this way, he is gone. It's a trigger read immediately. He's not looking at Ricard. He's not looking at anything else. He's looking right there. Go now. Why? Because they understand counter wineback is something that threatens us. Where are we running the football? To Ricard. Ricard's in the slot on our left. And don't get me wrong. Like I said, he did a great job. By and large, for the whole game, Ricard did a fantastic job. We can't get to this Will linebacker with Andrews the way it's drawn up. We can't get there because of the read, because of the alignment. That's what a 4-3 Will does versus twins, or in this case trips. Widen up, but put yourself in a position where you cannot be blocked by that number 2 receiver on inside run. Now, the scheme still gets a seam there for Dobbins. It's counter wind back to the trip side. I'm not sure what Huntley is checking there. Love the scheme, love the execution. Wish we did it more when we got down into, the 35, 32, 15. I feel like we could be having a different conversation today. We all watched the Bucks take a lead over the Bengals today and thought, well, maybe the Bucks are going to help us out. Maybe they're going to right our wrong from yesterday. We didn't deserve that wrong to be righted, if you ask me. We deserve for the Bengals to be one game ahead because of the way. Look at the shiftiness of Dobbins. I mean, this beautiful running back play. I was going to say his freshman year. His rookie year in the NFL was amazing for me to watch what he was able to do, and all the shiftiness is there. Watch how square he is when he gets through this hole. Now, I didn't highlight it, but I love how sometimes to try to get an extra 2 or 3 yards or stay on his feet, he puts his hand on the ground. That drill actually for a lot of teams used to be called the Ray Rice drill because Ray Rice was so good at it, and now Dobbins is good at it as well. It might be this play. This is the draw on 2nd and 7. Kind of knew this one was coming. Nah, it's not that one. Again, behind Ricard. I mean, all you got to do when we're under center and Ricard's in the backfield is, just read Ricard. This is a giveaway. Let's draw. Now. Go now. Fill now. We're still getting yards out of it, though. Our offensive line did a good job. I'm not saying it's easy to stop, but there's some pretty direct reads or keys with Ricard that most teams could and should be using. 3rd and 3, I believe. QB counter read. Very next play. Excuse me, this is power read. My bad. Dobbins gets 3. Gets the first down. Garrett is a load. He's in this 4-eye. He's going down. And Stanley's trying to get him taken down. Watch Stanley and Garrett run into the pulling guard, which is Zeitler here, basically clogging Zeitler's pull up. So Zeitler's not able to close off anyone from the inside like number 97, the D tackle, who ends up making primary contact. Also think Linderbaum's angle is a little too severe, but 97 is stemming in that way. So I really don't know that I can blame anyone, Stanley, Zeitler, or Linderbaum. Linderbaum is going back on 97, and 97's already stemming this way. I had to draw that line a little more horizontal than he's actually stemming, but you see what I mean. From his alignment, he's not going upfield. He's going to the right, taking him to the play. If we're able to pick him up, I think JK's got a bigger cutback lane there. Missed opportunity. The guy I didn't see on the field enough was Isaiah Likely. I don't know about you. He's the future of our offense. One of the guys who's a big part of our future. Get him on the field. Again, we're running behind Ricard, who does a good job. 94 tries to wrong arm it. Linderbaum goes inside. Ricard logs him. So Ricard gets to the outside. Gus bounces it, one-on-one with Johnson again. This time the guy tackles him. I think another tackle for Johnson on the next play. Again, a joker's set. Kind of belaboring the point at this point, to be honest with you. Robinson looks a little uncomfortable coming through here. He's at least trying to get something done. Moving up the left sideline. This is like a superpower play. Power is normally like a kick by the fullback and then a wrap by the backside guard and a pull. We would call this superpower. So it's a kick, and then you're getting guard and tackle pull. So there's an extra player there, hence the name superpower. From the old double wing, foot-to-foot offense that's one of the highest scoring offenses in history in high school football. Even though it looks awful to watch because it's foot-to-foot splits, and the fullback has his nose up the quarterback's butt. This motion, again, that I talked about, and I'm not a fan of, it's a tough game by JK. Good run. Linderbaum wrapping. Moses picking up the second guy. We're running the motion, and we're coming back to Ricard, and everyone knows it. Why? Because the back is on the other side. There's very few same-side runs. I don't know if I give you the end zone angle of this one. Hopefully I do. Same-side run would be, motion through, JK step down, get the ball, and then, back to the same side where he lined up, meaning he's on the right side of the offense there, whereas, the downside of the screen for us is Huntley's left, the left side of the offense. Hopefully I give you the end zone angle so you can see what I'm talking about. Same side runs are, I don't want to say challenging, but they require a little bit more organization to pull off in an offense where you only have one running back to one side. And let's be honest, that is what we have. We have a fullback / tight end blocker in the backfield in Ricard who's never going to get the football. Shouldn't really ever get the football. He did on a 4th and 1, and it was unsuccessful. A couple more plays here before we get to my final point. Again, the sweep. I think that's the same play. I think I had a couple of plays out of order here. Yeah, I did. All right, so this is the one. So, again, it's the same side runs. We're motioning Duve through. Ricard is here. There's got to be a way for us to pull off a same side run to this side where we're, executing our down scheme and maybe pulling and kicking and pulling and wrapping away from Ricard. I feel like teams are, I don't want to say set up for it, but I feel like teams are looking for Ricard to get the ball. Look at Ward. Now, there was a play earlier where Duve motioned and Ward kind of did widen up with it. Look at Ward. He's not widening up at all, but the linebacker is for some reason. You can tell the guys who are, every down players in the NFL, guys who got a ton of experience. Denzel Ward didn't move because he knows that motion doesn't mean anything. So even within our ability to run the football successfully, I feel like there's a lot of limitations to it, or there are some limitations to it. One of which is, for this game is, we didn't have Lamar, and I'm not sure how much I'd want him to be running, anyway. And second of which is, even on this mesh stuff like this with Huntley, Huntley's not going to keep it. He's not going to keep it. He's already went through some issues, and he didn't play well in terms of the pass game. I showed you the missed touchdown opportunity for Andrews. You may disagree with me and say, Coach, I don't think he's as wide open as you think he is, but I think you can throw the ball in a location on that play to Andrews. Well, here it is here. And I think where it's either caught by Andrews or it's incomplete. I mean, you can see that he's breaking open now, but the ball would have had to have already been thrown by Huntley for it to be caught somewhere in this area here. If you ask me, this is a play that this is something we should be prepped for. And in my opinion, I don't know why we're not, we are getting the tight end running a route here to occupy this safety. So the design of it, if you ask me, is to go to Andrews. It's not designed to go down here to Marcus Robinson. I don't think it's designed to go to Oliver. We are getting some expansion by a linebacker to take over Dobbins. I just don't know who else this is designed to go to other than Andrews. And I'm not sure why we didn't throw the ball to him. And I'm not sure why we didn't, once we decided to not throw it to him, why we didn't decide to throw the ball out of bounds and turn a 1st and 10 into a 2nd and 10. Let me know if I'm less angry tonight. You can probably tell in my voice. A lot of things going on today. Trying to get this content out on Sunday night after the Sunday night football game, was difficult for me to navigate. But I wanted to do it because I felt like we got the right guys back at the right time. We had them in the right place. Imagine Lamar was out and we didn't have these two guys. Well, then what type of offense would we have seen? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe we would spread the ball some more, spread the formation out some. I'm not sure. To me, there's some interesting thoughts with this offensive game plan. It looked like our coaches knew that Huntley was limited. And I don't know if I can or even want to expand on that. It looked like they knew he was limited. But having said that, I think we threw the ball 28 times, or maybe 30, right? Something like that. JK and Gus only got 20 carries, 180 yards, damn near 10 yards per carry. Unreal. How do you lose a game like that? If you don't take points. And I even would say to you that Kurt Warner had it right during the game. Remember the 3rd and 10 when we threw the interception to Deshaun Jackson? He said, hey, I think they're just going to be conservative here and kick the field goal. He had it right. That's what we should have done, clearly. How different would the game be if when we get the ball twice in the 4th quarter, when we're down 13-3, if it's 13-9 at that point? Which, it very easily could have been 13-12 or even more, if we actually throw the ball to Andrews. I forget who it was. There was a comment that was made that was like, how do me personally get to say that the game could have been very different in the 4th quarter if we had 3 more points? I mean, hello, like 1 touchdown ties the game if it's 13-6. So we missed so many opportunities. It wasn't these two guys. It wasn't our O-line. I thought the pass pro was pretty good. Huntley seems very jittery in the pocket. He seems like he's getting out of there very fast. Lately, a little bit more so. Saturday, a little bit more so. Let me, recategorize that. Disappointing game because we wasted these two guys. And, for real, how many more times do we get to see Gus and JK together? We lost all of 2021 for injury, unfortunately. And we've still been dealing with that issue as an organization, as a team, and fans this year for those two, trying to get back and trying to regain their health completely. How many more times? I believe they're both. I know that JK is, but I believe Gus is signed for next year. I could be wrong. We better take advantage of it, and we better ride these guys when we have the opportunity. This week against the Falcons will be another opportunity. I have not seen a team be as inconsistent on taking on blocks as I've seen the Falcons defense at times this year. Not saying they don't have talent, they don't have athletes. I'm a real big fan of Arnold Ebiketie. I love his talent, love his versatility, his size and explosiveness. Would have loved to have seen him get drafted by the Ravens. Going into the draft, he was a guy that I thought, man, if he could slip to the third round, because I think at that point in time we had 2 third-rounders, but I might be wrong. I thought, man, if he could fall to the third, I think we had 97, but he went way before then. I think he went at 45 or 44 or something like that. But in any case, these 2 guys might be the guys that we ride again. And if we do, ride them all the way to the end. Like, let them get all the way to the destination before we stop, because we stopped too soon on Saturday night. And 100%, I blame our decision-making at the coaching staff and our play calling and our decisions to clearly Huntley was not making good decisions across the entirety of the game. In some of those situations, I question why we are putting him in that situation. That's the way I'm willing to phrase it right now. So appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments section. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know, and consider sharing it, a link on social media to help the video get more reach. If you think I missed any elements or missed any big plays or things that happened in the game, let me know in the comments section, and I'll try to cover it again this week in a different video.